Radio. Yeah, you already know. Talk Riff Radio. It's time to start the show.
Hey, thanks everybody for being here for another episode. This is Talk Riff Radio, a show that asks the real hard-hitting, serious questions, and we get to answer them in very meaningful ways. I'm Alex, and that's Tom. How you doing today?
I'm doing great.
Good. Did you have a good week?
Buddy.
I missed you too. Yeah. I've been crazy busy, so sorry for being offline for a little bit, but life's been insane. How about yours?
Yeah. This has been a heavy week. Recovery from the weekend and just getting into it, really.
Yeah, you partied hard?
Partied too hard. Sunday night, too. Not ideal for an adult body.
No. Yeah, Sunday night that's a bold move these days, huh?
It is. I wouldn't wish it on my worst of enemies.
Is that how bad you were feeling?
No, it wasn't that bad.
Yeah. How much did you have? You went to get some wine, I think, right?
I had wine. Then we had, mostly just beer.
Yeah.
And, that was just a lot of beer, really.
Yep. I've swung through like beer phases throughout my life. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, speaking on Grant, he's going to be a common topic, but that was probably peak beer for me. And then after I started hanging out with him, I got really more into cocktails. I appreciated beer still, but it wasn't my go-to. Now it's coming back around again. It's like kind of like a 10-year wave of beer. Yeah.
What's your go-to cocktail?
Go-to, I don't really have a go-to because I like a lot of things. I've been into it a lot. Recently, gin martinis have been good. Gin drinks are really good. Really good gin cocktails and things like that are some of my favorites right now. But I do go through tequila phases and vodka. Not that I drink a lot, but when I do.
Yeah. I'm an IPA fanboy. Yeah. Really. Have been for a long time.
I know, yeah, for sure.
And it's the only stuff that really makes me feel not so bad the next day.
Okay, interesting.
Which is funny. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's interesting because it has a heavier effect on me. I really like big beers, like not just big like the size, but big flavors. Even if it gets a little bit into like the fruity or novelty side of things, like a blood orange IPA, or even like a pineapple or something like that, like something weird. I'll mess with that.
Nice.
Pretty heavy, yeah.
That's pretty bold.
Just for something interesting, I've had so many good beers, and you know how we used to do. Crazy dusty bottles. I just feel like remember those crazy dusty bottles of stuff?
Those
like
flavored beers are the hit or miss, though.
Double Imperials and stuff like that back in the day, and quad IPAs and stuff. Those are the.
You go that deep that early in your life, and pretty much you're just recovering from the aftertaste.
Yeah. Well,
for the rest of your life,
I feel it's a lot like. People who get whatever they want, like high power executives and stuff, they end up being
I know a few of them.
They end up being into really weird stuff, because they experienced everything they've ever wanted out of the strongest possible, biggest flavored beer ever. And now I'm just chasing the dragon. I'm like, all right, put coffee beans and hemp in it. Like that's what I've had recently. Or what was the other one? It was a pineapple coconut milkshake one, I think.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah.
You're really going into the experimental zone.
Yeah.
Have you had any of those THC sodas?
No, but I've wanted to try one. Mostly I've just been kind of the old man and doing desserts and stuff. Have you done the sodas?
Yeah, I tried them once. I think that they taste good, but it's one of those things where you don't know the dosage.
Yes, yeah.
So you just got to go with the low dose and then drink the whole thing and know what you're in for.
Is the bottle usually 100 milligrams or 200 milligrams?
It's been so long.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Probably like set. Hopefully it's not more than 100. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I mean that's what the standard is these days. Like a normal
100?
a package or a gummy. Yeah, you can get gummies that are 70, 100, 200.
You're just biting the arm off of a bear.
Yeah, exactly. There was one the last time we got some, not the current time, but it was called Dope Rope, and it was like a sour straw.
Yeah, those are my favorite.
Sour straws.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the rainbow strips.
Rainbow strips for sure. Yeah. But
Yeah.
I like if they're cut into 10 milligram or 20 milligram pieces because it's just
Yes.
easier for me to dose. The rope was a tough one. But shout out to Dope Rope, sponsor us, even though I would prefer that you cut it into not a rope.
Dope Rope, sponsor us with this new product idea that Alex came up with.
Think about Dope Rope knots, like 10 milligram or 20 milligram ropes, but they're tied into little knots. So I can just grab one of those instead of trying to do the math on an 8-inch long rope.
I'm honestly surprised that Tic Tacs didn't get into the weed game. That would be the perfect size.
Oh, that's nothing. Tic Tacs are like candy. Just pop those bad boys.
But I'm just saying, like that is like the perfect vessel for something like this.
I did years ago get there were THC gel caps. Mm-hmm. I think they were filled with some sort of distillate like resin, and it was the no fun way, like let's take the candy out of it. Let's just have you take a gel cap pill, like a little Advil liquid gel THC pill.
Yeah.
And
I've had those.
It worked okay. I mean, but it just wasn't fun. There was no fun part about it.
It's kind of also similar to the fish oil pills where you're like burping up a little bit of
Yes.
and you're like, God damn it.
I hope nobody smells
Just
that.
make a good product. My neighbor, he got I was seeing him, or I saw him on the weekend at the pool, and he had these patches on his arm, and I thought they were nicotine patches, and I was like, oh shit, you're trying to quit smoking cigarettes or something like that,
Yeah.
Anyways, he's like, no, actually, he's somebody who, hangs out on TikTok. And sorry for the bag opening,
No, that's fine.
but I'm going to shout out this company. I haven't used them yet, but
Okay.
IV patch and bioabsorbing micro needle patch. He's like, I saw this on TikTok and got it.
Micro needles.
It's similar. It's like a Velcro, kind of like a Velcro patch, and it goes on your arm. And the ingredients are, what do we got here? Oh, it's powerful antioxidant protection. So there's antioxidant enzyme blend, protects your cells from oxidative damage, nutrient-rich formula, essential minerals and vitamins. IV strip support overall health. And then what else? Skin hydration and elasticity. Some collagen peptides. Basically, plant-based powder, green tea extract, ginseng extract, some other stuff. Anyways, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but what's cool about it is that, I was like, oh, so what is this? Like, nicotine? And he's like, nah, actually, it's like vitamins. I'm like, what the fuck?
Interesting.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I haven't done it. I haven't tried it. But if anybody out there has tried it, or if Ivy Patch wants to sponsor our podcast, be our guest.
Yeah. Check it out.
Check it out.
The microneedle sounded like it was going into your into your body, like physically, like needles.
Yeah, I think that the Velcro itself you like puncture your skin a little bit.
Really?
I mean, it's like maybe like an acupuncture.
Okay.
So, I mean, obviously they're little tiny patches. It's not like,
Yeah.
but I would assume that it's going to be something similar to something like that.
It's
where
like,
it doesn't
so it's
hurt.
not a chemical absorption. Is it like a physical thing that goes into your bloodstream?
Yeah.
Oh, crazy.
I mean, all these vitamins and whatever collagen and shit goes into your bloodstream, dude.
Yeah. That's good.
That's what happens when you drink it.
Sure. But it doesn't, it's not injecting it into you.
Yeah, but it's like the people who smoke cigarettes versus doing like the dip.
You're just
in
going
your
in
gum or something.
You're going from, it's like going from smoking drugs to shooting up drugs, but it's just the vitamin form of it. Like you're taking it to the next level. Like you're not getting the effects that you want from the old way. Now you need to take it to the next level and get it straight into the bloodstream.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the way that it should be.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's the way they do it at the doctor. So
Yeah, I mean, they're doing that at the hospital, right?
yeah, for sure. They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know what I'm doing now.
Yeah, for sure. You're
IV patches.
You're essentially a doctor.
After the whole COVID nightmare that happened, pretty much we're all our own doctors at this point.
It's interesting you bring up COVID. I did some reading about COVID earlier, just as how it's like longer term economic effects, like where we are now today. And it really started off of me doing some reading about the tariffs and how they've affected us and are projecting to affect us. And I know we've talked about economics a couple times already, more about like how the AI affects economics, but I thought it was interesting. And now that we've had a few weeks, I never like to be the first person to talk about a subject. You know what I mean? I want it to be around for a couple of weeks or a month and then see how it plays out. I don't have to be the first person. I just want to kind of get the best info. You know what I mean? So tariffs are a couple weeks old now. Have you done any reading or diving into them at all?
Yeah, dude. I have. I have some sources, mostly Twitter, and that is going to be where I pull my information from, but or my opinions. I have my own opinions, but I definitely have some sources.
Yeah, the sources are fine. I mean, there's no perfect source, right? I mean, there's no way you can be sure of anything.
Yeah, how could you be unless you were in Trump's brain?
I pulled data to... Yeah, that's the worst place to be.
Exactly. Nobody wants to be there.
Nobody wants to be there. But that's where you have to be to get the secrets. He makes it so you don't want to be there. It's a genius plot, right? You don't want to be in there, so that's where the best place to keep the secrets is. Yeah, stay out of my brain. Like nobody wants to. Yeah.
Stay out of Trump's brain.
You can't read his thoughts. You don't want to read his thoughts. All right. So yeah,
You'll go crazy.
Speaking about sources, I thought it was important for me to include the source. So in my notes here, I wrote the source down, which the source of the data that I collected, like just the analytical stuff, is from the Hotel News resource. So it's it's kind of like a microeconomic data set, but it is the data is, it's directly related to kind of the macroeconomic health of the areas that the data was pulled, because they have a very vested interest in people having additional money to spend in the hotel industry, I believe. So, it's a source that has some skin in the game, I feel. But inaccurate information, accurate numbers. But the reason I brought up COVID-19 was I wanted to see how like tariffs have affected us since they've started, and how other kind of global events have affected us, like in relation to COVID-19. So I looked up like the Spanish flu. I'm sure that's pretty, about that.
Yeah, it happened a long time ago. I know about it a little bit. Similar cautionary procedures that they enacted on people back then too.
Yes. Yeah. I actually looked into it, and it wasn't actually as similar. So the policy responses, there was very limited government intervention during the Spanish flu, and that's why it was as bad as it was. We were just such a young country. We're talking about 1918. So just getting any information around to people would be almost impossible. People would just, be working on the farm and be getting sick.
Yeah,
I picture.
But they still did the lockdowns. They still had the mask mandates.
Yes, yeah. I've seen pictures of that stuff.
Yeah, so that's where the similarities are. I would also say that, during that time period, was it before or was it after or during World War One? When was World War One?
It was during World War One, essentially. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's almost like a way for the country to control their population during World War. Oh, actually, you know what? That's what triggered my brain was supposedly the soldiers that went to fight in World War One, they were all given vaccines.
Yeah.
To be enlisted or when they got enlisted.
Sure. It still happens
And so
today.
when they came home, they had all sorts of crazy issues.
Mm-hmm.
And supposedly that's one potential reason for the Spanish flu bringing it, like actually coming back to the mainland of U.S.
Was because of the vaccines?
Because of these men who had
More carriers of it.
like
that.
Yeah,
'Cause you could
carriers
still
and
probably
also
carry
just
it.
low immune systems. Like
Oh, sure.
They're
Haven't been
they're
eating
dog shit
well
after that.
Yeah, they were destroyed. Yeah, I mean, it's like, talk about. I think the war that I would least like to fantasy time machine travel back to and experience. Not that I want to experience any war. Don't get me wrong, but it is a topic of time travel conversations, at least to myself in my head. That's got to be the worst one. I mean, like the Crusades too were probably pretty brutal and savage, or like, some of the European like Dark Age shit. But man, World War One seems horrible.
Yeah,
in my head.
The Genghis Khan era would be pretty bad.
Yeah, you're right.
What else? The building of the Panama Canal.
I think that I would rather build the Panama Canal than fight in World War One.
Damn, dude.
I mean, yeah, it was bad. Don't get me wrong, terrible. But I don't. How many days am I getting machine guns shot at me?
0, but like if you count mosquitoes
maybe not
as
0.
bullets.
Oh yeah. For sure, dude. Horrible. Mosquitoes or bullets, I guess. I mean, depends how you feel about those two. Not saying
Building
your
the
opinion's wrong.
Suez Canal.
Oh man, yeah. Okay, so we'll put canal building on the list of terrible things.
Hoover Dam.
That's actually, yeah, it was probably difficult, but that would have been cool.
Golden Gate Bridge.
The Seattle Space Needle.
You know how many people passed from the needle?
How do you expect me not to
go-
do drugs in Seattle? The biggest landmark is a giant needle.
They give out free needles at the Space Needle.
Needles.
They're like, don't reuse. Here you go.
That's a really good policy.
Yeah. I mean, it also really helps out the guy who invented the needle
Sure.
and his whole family.
Yep. George Needle. We learned about him in school.
You sure?
No, I'm not sure of anything.
I'm gonna fact check you on George Needle.
It's all that's fine. If you spend your time fact checking George Needle, then I win. How gullible! You have to look in the mirror and ask yourself, how gullible am I that I believed George Needle invented the needle?
Obviously.
But yeah, it was the reason I bring up the Spanish flu is that the Industrial Revolution really came around at a pretty key time. And obviously they fed into each other, much lower labor force. A lot of people unfortunately died, during the war and during the Spanish flu. So that kind of created a need for industry and mechanization and stuff like that. But that really helped us economically. Right at that time when we needed it the most. And there was also a rebound during COVID-19 as well. I mean, just according to the numbers, increases in tech and e-commerce and healthcare really boomed. Now, where's that money going? Obviously, to giant corporations and things like that. But data-wise, it did prop it up. I think that it's something to be said. We're not still in the dark days of COVID, and I think a lot of people maybe are still kind of romantic about being stuck in that. But we're kind of in a rebound already from
I'll tell you what's not in a rebound. All these shanty towns that got built outside of restaurants, they haven't put any more lacquer or paint or any new vinyl on the stupid ass fucking seating areas.
Shit. Yeah.
It's such garbage,
The
dude.
shanty towns.
It looks like a homeless dump at every one of these fucking restaurants that took advantage of COVID to like have outdoor
to expand.
seating.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, just take it down. We're not going to your tree fort anymore.
Are there good ones? Is there like a price point of restaurant that has like maintained it and kept it like a nice environment? Or have the streets taken all of them over, kind of? Because they're in the street, so wouldn't blame it.
I would say that actually the places that do have it on the street, like they took parking spots and built
a patio.
That actually has lasted longer, but they all look like you and your buddies in grade school like got together and wanted to build a tree fort.
Yeah, somebody's uncle had like pallets out behind his transmission shop or something like that, and we took it apart and built a fort. Yeah. My boys built a box fort the other day, and if any of the patios are built with that kind of quality, I'm seriously concerned, because that box fort looked dangerous. I almost called the city inspector on them while they were working on it.
Get them over there.
Multiple OSHA violations,
Yeah.
That was just in the...
Nobody's wearing a hard hat.
No hard hats. No shoes, dude.
Everyone's huffing glue.
Yeah. Dude, they talk gibberish to each other like they're huffing glue.
Yeah. No, but I would say that's like the worst of with COVID and it being gone but still being around. Like the other thing is just random people still wearing the masks and acting like this is going to continue for the rest of their lives,
Sure.
Which it makes sense if you're like coming from an Asian culture where like there's pollution requirements to do that. But like at this point, like either you took the vaccine and you feel really good about doing that and you think it's going to work, or you didn't and you are also fine with that decision too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think how people feel. I'm okay with people wearing masks. Like if you're sick or if you don't want to get sick, it can help in some regard. I mean, it's blocking something. I don't know if it's going to block COVID, but the mask thing is, it's been a common, especially in Asian culture, like a pretty common thing for a long time. Thing's the best word I could think of there. And yeah, I think that COVID lingers in some areas. I mean, if you think about commercial real estate and office buildings and how the housing crisis and the unhoused, kind of crisis, and then also just the precedent it's set for, what the government can make us do and tell us to do is probably the most lingering thing in my mind, are those two. But yeah, it came, it went. I got vaccinated because I had to fly pretty soon after all the restrictions came out, and I'm happy that in the time I was happy that I did it. I mean, just to be honest, I was glad I did it, because I thought that no bad could come of it. But now, years later, I haven't had any bad reactions, but I do believe that some people did. So that's kind of another negative of it.
Yeah, I mean, big time. There was a lot of complying going on, and a lot of what is it? Forced It's like almost, it was a forced complying, or I don't know how to say that.
Yeah, no, that's right.
It's like a capitulation, that the event.
Yeah.
Where
an indoctrination.
Where it was like a checkmate. What'd you say?
Yeah, like an indoctrination. Yeah, I was just thinking of a long word too.
Yeah, there was some way of experimenting on a large swath of the population, and not only was it about getting people to try something new for the first time, but like also lying to them in a way, well, allegedly lying in fashioning, like in a fashionable way.
Yeah.
Like there was definitely like the whole trying to get people to comply with incentives, like Shake Shack, giving out like gift cards, and like the government giving you incentives like $100 coupon, like $100 if you get it, or
or restricting you from doing things, I think, is anybody can turn down incentives, but I had to get on an airplane, and
totally,
what was I supposed to do? I had to do it. Yeah. And it was sold to everyone disingenuously. So I agree with you that it was definitely not an honest campaign, for sure. No,
especially when they have a logical reason to tell, like they give you a logical reason of why they need to rush it out.
Yeah.
And the logical reason was that you were going to kill your grandma and your brothers and sisters and your dad and your mom. And if you don't do that, like, of course, the more people would take it than not take it. Sure. At that point.
I just I did the thing where I moved 1,000 miles away from everyone that I cared about, so that way I couldn't kill my grandma, but I didn't want to kill anybody's grandma. But it was just a strategy that I had.
I skirted everything. I didn't have to do it. I still flew, and I was able to get around everything.
You flew private?
No. It's just something called Photoshop.
yeah, for sure.
And I used my college degree to help me.
No, I seriously considered it just a little handwritten white card that said I did something.
I mean, there was a lot of just ways around it. But at the same time, it was complicated, and it lasted for way longer than I anticipated. The whole fucking thing. The coolest part was being in construction at that time period, because they basically were like, you're an essential person. Yeah. Like, we're not going to fuck with you. And we know that all of these other people aren't going to do it either. So just shut up and do your job and don't,
Yeah.
like, and go home.
Yeah, I was also considered an essential worker at that time, and it wasn't my job that made me do it. Like, there were people that did it and people that didn't do it at work, and we all just got along. We had to find a way to get. There was no politics in it, which was interesting, honestly, because I live in a pretty 50-50 place where it's half liberal, half conservative. And not extreme. Nobody's extreme. There are some, but you think, middle of America, like everybody's like serious pro this or pro that, but we knew it was bullshit when it was happening, kind of. At least my demographic of the people around me
Same.
knew it from the beginning, and I think we should give ourselves more credit for that. It was the folks that were older than us that really messed the whole thing up. So have a little light at the end of the tunnel, right?
I mean, it really comes down to our whole entire, our whole system in general is built and has been built and destroyed by an older generation, an older population that is still around today.
Yeah.
And so when it really comes down to it, the older, like, it was old people wanting to maintain control, and they saw like an opportunity to do so, and they took advantage of that. And I would really think that that's also having to do with, older population is the ones that are the ones that have an incentive to print $6 trillion as well.
Yeah.
That happened during COVID, like more than 50%, or what was it, like up until like the last 200 years of our country, like there wasn't, like they didn't print that much or whatever. And
yeah,
in the last like 5 years, they printed, like they just doubled it. That incentive, that increasingly goes to an older population as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And then also the 2008 crisis. I mean, they've really done a number on what we've got. We could be in a boom right now. We could be relying on the younger minds to drive policy and thought and stuff. But they did. It was a setback because they did try and hold on to that control, like you said, and
it
take
goes
advantage.
back and again, like what else is happening? Like they, the fucking Social Security right now is an issue, right?
Yeah.
They keep on talking about how it's never gonna, it's not gonna last. It's not gonna last. Oh no, but you keep paying into it. And you know that
I'm invested now. I didn't care. Like when we first met each other, what was it? I didn't care about it. You're right. Sorry, go ahead. But now I care about it all of a sudden.
Oh yeah. Well, today was the 90th year anniversary of Social Security.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And when you think about it, it's like, oh, okay, so 90 years. Like pretty much that's a Ponzi scheme. Like it lasted for they incentivized people to vote on it in the beginning. Those people got paid out by the baby boomers. The baby boomers are wanting it to stay around because they worked for 40 years paying into it.
Sure.
So then they really want it to happen, to keep,
and it's helped their parents
duties. Also.
We're at the point where they've seen the benefits be paid out to the previous generation also.
Yeah, but every generation okay, so yeah, then they've used the whole entire like pot of money.
Yeah.
Like basically between the silent generation and baby boomers, like that money is fucking vapor. That's gone. So we're running on fumes right now, and every generation since the silent generation has been smaller.
Yeah.
So there's fewer and fewer people able to pay into it to keep it going.
And more people are living longer also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the baby boomers are the biggest population
Yeah.
out of anybody. And they're also the voting population.
And now it's kind of
So-
hitting a tipping point where they're fully all retired now and extracting.
Yeah. Yep. And we are millennials, let's say Gen X too, because they're not getting Social Security yet.
Yeah.
So, but Gen X is smaller than baby boomers, and millennials are even smaller than Gen X.
Yeah.
Then Gen Z is even smaller than millennials.
And they're not having
and
sex.
Alpha is even smaller than that. Huh?
And kids these days, they keep saying aren't procreating as
Our
earlier
country is
in
like-
numbers.
We're not even in replacement territory.
Yeah. Which is a scary thing, really.
So that just means that our idea of having Social Security be paid out to us based on the generations after us is kind of not going to happen.
Which is fine unless you just, and this always is just to shit on every theory these days ever, but because our money isn't backed with any rare material any longer, there's no gold standard. We can still support people with printed money as long as it's going to the masses. It's going to stimulate and improve people's lives and welfare and well-being. Now I get it. What, just print more money? That's not an option, right? But there are ways to incentivize people to generate more and therefore give it back. I mean, that is the whole like small business tax incentives kind of model, right? Is produce more for your country and your country will take care of you in a more substantial way.
So are they going to produce more on TikTok for us?
Hey, whatever works. If it's advertising and media money that's making the country run right now, and TikTok is eventually going to be an economy, an economic marker, then sure, wherever it's coming from, I just want people to make money or be able to make money.
I would say that whole idea though on the printing side of things, or even we can just go into universal basic income.
Yeah, that's kind of what I
style
was
thing without even having Social Security. But the more you print, also the higher costs get. So
they don't have to though.
Yeah. Well, somebody has to produce the shit so that you consume.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah, absolutely.
When the pool of money is deeper, when there's deeper liquidity in the market, like the producer charges more, unless you're talking about capital control and caps on how much people can charge for bread and electronics.
No,
and
the
you
free
just go-
market
then
will regulate it. I feel. I mean, the competition is what would maintain sort of a price cap on goods. As long as you have people competing for people's business, I think.
So let's look at college degrees. So like a college back in the day, there wasn't as much student loans given by government.
Yeah.
Today there's government student loans, and which leads to more people going into college, right?
Sure.
So when more people go to college and there is a money printer on the other side giving loans, the colleges jack up the prices. So all the colleges cost more than they did before.
And it's a model that's falling apart. I mean, if anybody's going to learn from that model, then it's, they got too greedy and now people are discovering that they don't need to go to college. If it was actually like what it's supposed to be, like a meeting place for minds that were just to trade information, and we took the money more out of it. I'm not saying all the way out, obviously. I mean, no matter what, tying a little bit of money to stuff is going to increase its quality, right? So for research grants and for like college football and like, we need money to produce these products. Colleges produce product. But I think, they got too greedy and it kind of fell apart, and it is kind of falling apart. even.
Yeah, but it's not going to
football.
stop people from it's like similar to our baby boomer parents telling us, hey, pay into Social Security, like da da da. It's going to be the same with the college degree that millennials are going to say you don't need to go, but like it is a good thing for your social circle to form friends and da da da.
Oh,
so
yeah.
there's going to be like this hey, you don't have to go, but like the majority of people are going to go.
The value, though, is now eroding because it's so expensive. So you can get that social experience like I kind of did. I went to city college and, got the lowest dollar, but I got all of the social aspects without getting the degree, the big degree. So, and I think that that's just more evident now than it was before because the value isn't there. Now, if it was $18,000 a year to get a bachelor's from a good university, or then the value would still be there. More people would be on board with it if they could afford it because it is a better experience, going to the big football game or the big soccer game and going into a lab that has really nice equipment and modern equipment and learning from people that care about what they do and they're not just there for money. They could turn it around is my optimist outtake on it, because right now I mean, the data shows, I haven't read it in a while, but the data shows that less people are going to college, and you ask young people and they feel like they don't really need a degree as much as we did when we were kids. It was life or death for us, remember?
Oh yeah. I mean, the cool thing is that when you think about how much you've gotten, like I probably have gotten more from going to college than from not going to college for sure. Like I feel like in my life, the skills that I've learned have translated, but that's because pretty much I was going into a trade. Like it was a technical trade.
Yes.
So, but I learned a lot of the skills that I had already before I went to college. Like I was interested in
how
Photoshop.
to learn things.
Yeah.
You're
I was interested in computers.
The foundation is the important part. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I'm not discrediting the use. And I want to, just be clear. I see the value, but it's hard to see the value at $100,000 a year.
Well, the value is still there and it's exactly the same. It's just the money is worth less. So like from 2020 to today, I think it was from the year 2000, we can pull this chart up. But from the year 2000, let's just say, I'm going to be generous, 2000 to today, the dollar is 50% down in purchasing price.
Purchase power, yeah.
Purchase power, yeah. So that just goes to show that, like, hey, your $50,000 degree is now $100,000. It's the same degree. It's just that the dollar is worth less. Yes.
Well, that's a problem because it's more difficult to make that amount of money than it was back then.
Correct. There's stagflation. So it's like your prices are increasing, but your wages are staying consistent.
Yeah. So they need to dial it back. They need to stop being so greedy.
Well, they need to stop printing money.
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, don't go nuts with it. Obviously. They don't need to ask for the money that they're printing. The colleges don't need to be the ones asking for the money that they're printing.
No, but they're like part of the elite type of people who know the right shoulders to rub in order to get more money sent to them.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that you can't file bankruptcy on a student loan is predatory, in my opinion. The fact that the whole
financialization of it.
Yeah, the whole structure of it is predatory in nature. I mean, I remember applying for FAFSA and all that stuff and thinking, sweet, yeah, this is going to be great. And and that's just the government. That's just the public, like government side of things. When you get into, more of the sort of the private influences that are molding this policy, it gets pretty strange that these giant institutions are setting policy that only benefits them. That's not true, because the degree will benefit you that you get, but at what cost? Are you going to be paying off this loan and it negatively affecting your life for an extended period?
Yeah, I mean, also just going into the subjects that students are, they want the degree. They want the degree, and they will do anything to get it, and from whatever university with a good name.
Sure.
But what ends up happening is that if you look at the student scores of whether it's just basic subjects in high school and grade school, it's like all of America's scores are going down. There's a small amount of people, a small population of this country who scores, like students, that scores are going up.
Yeah.
They're in a minority.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So the subjects that these kids are choosing are the easier subjects.
Yeah.
General subjects that don't necessarily translate into money after college.
Sure.
They got the degree, but then they went the easy route in college to have almost a free ticket to a degree.
Yep.
But then on the other side of that, the skills aren't there that they were supposed to get from going to college.
And the market's flooded with clones of them.
Yeah.
Which I always commended a technical degree. That was kind of the next step up over, like a sociology degree, or not knocking it. We need sociologists, people that understand it. We need communications degree holders, but yes, there are a lot of folks out there that took a liberal arts style of approach, and it's tough to turn into money because it's an arts degree, and they're still in the same amount of debt as somebody that got
Correct.
a technical degree. Sure.
Exactly, and that's what my point was, is that it almost turns into a spiral of it's like a feedback loop.
It's the system masturbating itself with its own money.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So they dumb the population down and incentivize them with loans from the government printer. They take that money, they put it into the institutions that feed that money.
You don't even have it for a day.
Politicians.
Sometimes
Huh?
you don't even have it for a day. They take it, and then you pay your tuition with it. And they just write back to them. They're like, "Yeah, thanks.
Yeah,
so glad you took out all that
It's like
money."
money laundering.
Yeah, essentially, yeah.
It's money laundering, and you're on the hook without being able to get a declare bankruptcy at the end of it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So it's an indentured servitude style of system.
Yeah, it's just so predatory. That's like the only word I can think of, is they're just assigning your name to their debt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you look at the administration costs of colleges, and how many administrators versus how many teachers there are in the last 20, 25 years, let's just say. And the amount of growth in administration is like quadruple the amount of the teacher number stayed the same or went down, while administration just ballooned.
Yeah.
To be like, oh, and we need a this and a that and a whatever in order to create these inflated costs for the college, but the actual degree or this maybe even like the number of kids to teachers stayed the same.
Yeah. And they're also feeling probably decreased admission, decreased numbers of, well, I don't know. Like you said, I mean, the kids want the degrees, right? There's going to be somebody to fill those dorms up. Yeah.
The only difference is where they're going to actually feel it is within the next 10 years, let's say, when they actually built all of these colleges for Gen X and millennial population size.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're at Gen Z and Alpha population size, which is like cut in half.
Yeah.
And so these institutions that got so large and thought like, America's built on growth. We have like, it's just infinite growth is the philosophy.
Yeah. But not growth of the institution itself. That's where they lost sight, I think.
Yeah. They grew these institutions though to a size that is unsustainable.
Yeah.
So when you say that there's going to be less demand, it might not even be from like they're not wanting to be, or it might not be from Gen Z and Alpha not wanting to go to college. They might all apply.
Not ideological reasons, but there might just be less people.
Less people.
Yeah, for sure. And still people that need to have jobs that don't require a degree. There's still going to be that demand. That demand might even increase in a way for actual service jobs and things like that. So,
yeah, and that's probably where the whole crisis of immigration comes into play, is like flooding our system with immigrants, undocumented, illegal, or even legal.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Sure.
Like that's where it actually comes from.
Yeah.
Is that we don't even have the replacement population for our own, inside of our own borders.
Yes.
So we have to go looking for and enticing other countries to send their minds here.
Yeah, that's an interesting take. That's an interesting angle, because we know that the universities at their core are a liberal organization, right? They're espousing liberal beliefs. It's not a hot take. It doesn't mean that I feel one way or another about it. It's just kind of how it is. That they would want more immigration, legal, illegal, whatever, in order to fill jobs, so it does free up kids for higher education, qualified work, meaning that there's more people taking out these loans and giving them more money and validating them more in their existence. So let's keep immigration rolling as much as we possibly can, so that it kind of boosts our own economy, the economy of universities.
Yeah,
that's just an interesting thing I never thought about.
The universities are still going to try to fill those seats, and they're not going to take no for an answer. Like, oh, we're not going to have enough people to keep this organization or this institution going.
Yeah,
they're going to fill all those seats with whoever the fuck they can from any other place in the whole entire world. Get them in here.
Yeah.
University of Illinois is looking for fucking science majors.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they want everybody.
They want everybody.
Yeah, that can pay.
And it's a similar thing to what's going on in any small town in this country, is that the people in those small communities, the kids there long to go to the big city.
Sure.
And America is the big city to other countries.
Yeah.
So as they make the rest of the world poorer, or as the dollar, either it's going down, but it's going down slower than these other currencies around the world, because they're all pegged to dollars. They're not pegged to gold. They're not.
Yeah.
They're linked to dollars, and their governments are even more fucked than ours.
Yeah.
So they get poorer and poorer, and basically they're like the backwaters of the world. Mm-hmm. And those kids dream of going to the big city, and the big city
Yeah.
is just going to school in America.
And when they and when they can come over, I want the more the merrier, in my opinion. I understand that there's a legal or an illegal way to come into this country, but I want to be a place where people want to come. So I think that immigration is it's a good sign. If we can support immigration in a sustainable way, then it's a good sign people want to come to this country. It means we're doing something right. It's a complicated a cycle of things. I wanted to look up a stat. I don't know if you have something easy to look up, but I also feel like while immigrants want to come into the country, also first generation Americans, children of immigrants, which you are and I am, have a higher likelihood of the want to go to college, and they end up going to college because their parents instill in them a little bit of a you're responsible for your own destiny kind of mentality. So I can see universities wanting, thinking another facet of immigration being in their favor, and them pushing for that.
They say that the first generation is the one that makes all the money, and by the third generation, that's where all the money gets lost.
Yeah, I mean, my parents did really well for themselves. I mean, I'd say they're pretty comfortable, and they feel pretty fulfilled with all that they've been able to accomplish.
You want to hear a quick funny story about hiring like someone in HR in a big tech company?
Sure.
Who this is just happened, I would say, recently to my knowledge, but this has got to have been going on for fucking years.
Yeah.
A funny story about immigration here. We were talking about being legal versus illegal. Well, there's a way to do it legally while also being fucking not truthful.
Yes.
And this is the story of how. So this company, this big tech company, hires people from, I'm going to say India. Could be any country.
Sure.
And what they do is they actually have a hiring agency in that foreign country. So they go talk. They talk directly to the hiring agency.
Mm-hmm.
That hiring agency goes and looks for people. Well, they actually have people that are the qualifiers. Let's just say that, like, hey, this person, I found this person, okay? And in the interview process, they say, well, we're going to need this person to take a test, for qualifications. There's another person in their community that's like the mob boss.
Yeah.
And he's like the big brains. So what he does is, because they all, this isn't racist, this is just being honest. In these certain communities, they all look very similar.
Sure.
So the hiring agent literally goes and gives the person the test, but it's the same guy or girl taking the test for hundreds of people.
Wow.
So they don't know the difference.
Yeah.
Then they go through the whole hiring. Oh, wow, he's qualified. He's da-da-da. He's all this,
Yeah.
all that. And they bring him over on whatever visa, totally legal.
He didn't even study for the test.
He didn't study for the test. He doesn't know shit.
Yeah.
And the problem is that these companies, especially a big tech company, it takes a while for them to figure out this person is bullshitting or it doesn't know.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And when they do find out, they've already invested about $15,000 to $25,000 into this person.
Sure.
That might not have even taken the test or even knows what the fuck they're here for.
And is this a scam of the international hiring agency. Is that's what you're saying? They're trying to move bodies through their system. Yeah. I feel like it could be solved.
And
Go ahead.
No, and it's also a problem. Like it's not only the hiring agency, but I'm sure that there's incentive for them on the tech side, but there's also incentive for them to do so on the backside, where maybe the guy taking the tests or the community itself, the members themselves, are paying that agency a bribe. So they're getting paid on both sides in incentive.
And they could be getting even extorted for it.
Correct.
Even by a local government in another country, saying, "Oh, you're making all of this money off of sending citizens to this other country. You better give us some, or we're going to shut you down." Things like that. So there might be some super powerful stuff going on. I feel like we could solve this issue, but is it something that people want solved? Is always the question. Like, is there too much money in it? Because facial recognition software doesn't play that game. They don't care what you look like. It either opens your iPhone or it doesn't. It's a pretty advanced system.
So there's probably legal hiring practices that do not allow you to even go there.
What do you mean?
I would say that there might even be like some, like it's a discrimination law.
Oh.
Or like some things that that
we can't rely on what they look like.
Yeah,
we're not allowed to look.
Because if you do, that would be fucking racist.
I think but it needs to be just an identification tool, not a judgmental tool.
Well,
even if it didn't output an image, like it didn't show a human what this person looked like. It was either a green check or a red box, around their face.
Yeah, but that green check means something.
It's AI, baby. Let AI judge us. Judge us, AI. Are we who we say we are? Are we trying to do bad stuff that hurts people?
The other thing, though, Alex, is that these big tech companies and all of the companies in general in America, they have an incentive to grow their workforce.
Sure.
For whatever means possible. Because the more bodies they have in their company, the bigger the loan is that they get from the bank and also their shareholders.
Yeah.
So they almost don't care if that like the hiring or the firing,
and hiring shows us growth. I mean, it's one of the markers that you look to for a strong company. So there's definitely, and that affects their stock prices. So there's a lot of incentive for them to do it. Who does it negatively affect I know who it negatively affects at the end. It's also sort of like indentured servitude, because they do bring these people over and they find them a house, or they find them an apartment or a condo in a building that they own through a shell corporation, and then they're paying their rent right back into the company, and they're providing them with a company credit card so they can, or a car that they've sold through somebody that makes money back to them also. But then, it'll eventually affect the quality of the outcome, like whatever product or service that you're providing. It negatively affects that. It does really, though, benefit these people that would have no other way of experiencing living in the first world. So
the cost is actually on those kids that we were talking about graduating college.
Yes.
So because these people, because they have families, because they have kids, because they have all these things and they come from a poor place, they will take the lower salary jobs that typically would be given to those college graduates.
Yeah.
So that's who it's really negatively hurting, is the people that go through the system and are of the working age when they come out, but can't find those entry-level jobs anymore because the entry-level jobs are taken by somebody with a family.
Yes. Yeah, with a family or.
I mean, something that they can't get, like there's less risk for the company to hire somebody who has a family or who came from abroad that they would do exactly what they're told to do versus a natural born citizen of this country who has rights.
They're much less likely to take risks with their profession if they have, kids and stuff like that. So that makes sense.
The other thing is that when we talk about stock prices and companies like the stock market in general, when we look at stock prices, there's dips and little, dips along the way, but it's fucking up and to the right for all these charts, mostly.
Yeah.
Like majority of these charts is up and to the right, but they haven't produced anything new of value in years. Well, I'm not going to say that, but let's just say that they do much of the same thing over and over and over again every year, but yet they're worth more and more.
Yes.
So again, that goes back to the fact that the dollar is weakening, and it's like the same thing as the college degree. Has the same value. This company has the same value as it did before.
Marginally increased output, marginally, but doubled value in the last 10 years.
So that means that the dollar itself
is half.
It takes double the dollars to get the same share of that company.
Yeah.
Same with college degree, is it takes double the dollars to get the same value of the degree.
Yeah. So I think that industry boils down to tighter regulation on student loans, and not regulation on giving them out, but regulation on being able to declare bankruptcy or limit the amount, or I don't want to limit anyone from whatever college that they get accepted to. I mean, that's not very American or free market either. You want them to be able to take on the risk, take the big leap and take out the $100,000 when you're 18 years old. Imagine an 18-year-old not accepted to a university walking into a bank and asking for $100,000 loan with no work history, no income, that. There's something broken there, but I'm just not sure how to do it without limiting people's opportunities.
Well, I'll tell you that it's probably better if these kids that want to go to college created a business plan of what they saw the outcome of their degree and the potential of getting a degree would serve to the community and serve to the country, or serve to their family.
And the economy, in general. Yeah.
Write me a business plan of what your degree is going to get you on the other side. And instead of taking that application to a college who has incentive to fill the seats, I want those 18-year-old kids to go to the bank and literally ask the bank for a loan.
I need this education to make this
because I have, and have it not be predatory by these, like we're saying, it's like a big circle of the money going into the university and going back to the government. Like I want it to be write a fucking business plan like anybody else would take a loan out, and go to the bank and ask for the loan. If you're going to ask for an art degree and you don't have an idea of how to sell your art afterwards. Mm-hmm. Or that, you don't have a plan, then fuck off. You don't get a loan.
Yeah. And then that would force the banks and the students to have a more collaborative relationship, right? They would want us to succeed because that's the only way they would be getting their money back, which is really, when you think about sort of just the general morality of loans, should be happening anyway, right? The bank should want us to succeed so we can pay the money back. But they'd rather just bleed us dry than stimulate us into success, that's like a base level like morality question, and that's a tough one to solve also.
And also the government legitimately does not care if you pay it back.
Because they'll just print more.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the only way the banks create money is by giving more loans out.
Yeah.
But in order to keep the value of the bank solid, they need to get the loans repaid
Yeah. No.
to keep the value of the organization whole,
Yeah.
the bank whole.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's all. These are all good points. Man, we need to start a bank.
That's what Macy's is doing. When you go there and you get check out, and they're like, "Do you want a credit card?"
Yeah.
They're creating banks, dude. Everybody, PetSmart. Here's a fucking credit card for PetSmart.
Oh, sure.
They're creating their own banks, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I agree with you. There needs to be a system in place. Well, yeah. Somehow we got to create a bank.
Some
What
sort
you
of
do-
decentralized.
Well, you create. First of all, you have to create a business that people want to shop at.
Yeah.
Once you create that business, that's when you start handing out credit cards.
Yes. Sure.
And then you become a bank.
Yeah. I want to. I just want
You can
to.
issue loans.
I want to help people achieve their dreams, and maybe not me create a bank, but I just want people to think about how to use their money.
Then that's a 501c3. A 501c3 can also be a bank.
Yeah.
So if you want to help people, then you do it nonprofit.
Sure.
And one of the ideas that I had when I was a fucking kid in high school with my friends,
Sure.
I have a couple nonprofits that are fun. The first one was called the Top Priority, TOPP. And it was the Treasure Our Parks program.
Okay.
And what it was a treasure hunt that started in your local community. So your county park, and all the people would gather and they do a treasure hunt. And all the clues have to do with the local community, and eventually whoever wins that community park goes on to a state park level where all the counties or whatever meet, the winners from each county meet in the state park level. They do the same thing there.
Bigger prize.
But more so like the clues are state level based.
Yeah.
Then the winner from your state goes to the national park level. And it's one kid from every state, goes there, and they do the same thing there on a bigger, grander scale.
Yeah.
And all the clues are about the actual country itself. And so it's like a history lesson that starts from the ground up.
Yeah.
So you have to be a well-rounded historian or somebody educated in that kind of sense so you can study.
Yeah.
In school, obviously.
Yeah, like
all these
a
things.
Little League World Series model of
Yeah.
Very local in the beginning, and you move up through the ranks.
Yeah.
And then you're in that final like Hunger Games national park scavenger hunt.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
And it rotates around, so like
Yeah.
all that, like the national, we have so many different
Arches,
national parks.
Yosemite, Yellowstone. Like Yellowstone would be like the once every 10 years or something like that.
Yeah.
Yosemite would be a big deal too.
They all are. They're all big deal.
They're all a big deal, but the marketing of it.
But that's the coolest part about this this 501c3 is that it literally could be a lifetime of us organizing and creating an actual institution, if you will.
Yeah, it would be interesting. I wonder how you would get the management of the smallest ones. In a way, seems more challenging than the larger national scale. one just because. Yeah, the only thing I can think of is like the Little League, the Little League World Series.
Yeah.
And
Well, I think now
How the
2025 has really kind of flipped the whole script of this 501c3. So I would say that at this point, it's almost like Pokemon Go, that you could do it. You have a certain time period between this month and this month, but you do it at your own leisure.
yeah,
And you go to the park and it's augmented reality through your phone, and you're literally going through all those questions, or you know, you're solving the riddle on your own accord. You don't have to be organized. You don't have to have it be a big event. And on your phone, it's all like GPS based. It's all like time based.
Yes.
You log in, you log out, and you can actually figure out, okay, over the course of 3 months, the 3-month window, which account actually solved it the fastest.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, but yeah, Pokemon Go. That's a really good. That's a really good model because you can do it as much or as little as you have time for. It gets you out into the community. It is a community. I mean, did you play Pokemon Go?
I've had friends that played it.
Sure.
I never played it. I watched them.
I got into it pretty heavy, and then again, just because I had the time and it was fun. You know, we would take breaks from work and just walk over to the park. In the summer and the spring, and everybody would be out there because it would be a big event, right? So the whole town that played Pokemon Go or a lot of people, not the whole town obviously, but a lot of people would be out there at the same time, and you'd run into people, pretty frequently that you'd seen before, and we'd set up sort of kind of a community of people that had similar interests. And it would be a great way to manage the data side of it for sure.
Yeah, and I'm also thinking about us now talking about wanting to be a bank.
Yeah.
So all of those cell phones, whoever wins, actually, there's a wallet built into the phone. So with the donations that we get donated by whatever sponsors we have, the winner gets the ticket to go to the next place.
Yeah.
Like they have the funding built into the app itself.
And they get money to take time off of work if it's going to be a week away.
Yep.
And yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's an age limit. Sorry, Alex.
Oh, no. I was really gonna start putting my kids on like 4 iPhones each. Get one of them to win.
It has facial recognition too, dude.
No, but because it would be, and there would be time limits too. I don't know if no, I guess you could play in the middle of the night, right? As long as you're not breaking any laws, then I'm just, the great thing about Pokemon Go is you do have parents and kids out there. One of the great things about it is playing together, and you can still play together, but I think it would have to be somebody over the age of 18. We could lower it. You could lower it to 16.
Yeah, different age groups.
Yeah, you could do different age
Different
groups.
questions, and have an LLM, have an AI on the compute side, which is actually gearing it based on who's logging in.
Yeah.
So like the questions get that much harder, and it's not only like age verification. Like an 18-year-old can't say that they're like 6 years old. Like it's going to read your face, and it's going to know how old you are from the bags under your eyes and skin, whatever.
Well, I mean,
all that.
the gambling apps already do age verification. I mean, it's not an uncommon part of using apps these days. No, I think that's a really cool idea.
Yeah,
I want to
and
play.
we will be our
now.
own bank because we will have all the sponsorship money come in. We're also going to be giving out credit cards to all these kids.
It would be our own. It would be our own monetary system, though. We wouldn't have it be dollars.
Yeah. I mean, it could be. It should be dollars. It's just the digital dollar.
Sure.
You know.
Something that's equal to the same value. as a dollar.
Yeah, it just can't be spent in the real world. You can't take your wallet from the fucking thing. You can't spend your prize money on drugs.
Or a for-profit enterprise.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would need to. That's interesting, because then once we're funding people's playing, like, you know, you have to go to Minnesota for a week and search the woods for stuff. How it would get paid for that. You could, in a way, make everything be a donation. So even like microtransactions of dollars, you know, in order to change, you know, if there's an avatar in-game avatar, you can have it, you know, wear different clothes. Or I don't want to gamify it too much, but
you don't have
it has to be
to.
fun.
If you make it similar to Girl Scout cookies, it's like, in order to play the app, you have to give a donation.
Okay, sure.
So every parent who's going to sign their kid up to play this game or potentially win this prize is going to be donating to our 501c3 just to unlock the app itself.
Sure.
So there's your there's like your initial donation.
Yeah.
Now you can have friends and family add more money into your account.
Donate on your behalf. Yeah.
And that would unlock avatars and whatever other things that you could buy. But the initial, just to play the game, to enter to win, is a donation to the 501c3.
Yeah. No, I like. Yeah. Gets people out and about. It gets people that they enjoy. Is the point.
Yeah. I mean, the hard part about it now is that the connectedness of, like, to solve these problems or to get the next clue, it has to be based on exercise, so that it doesn't necessarily just mean like somebody who has access to Google figures out all the questions, answers them, and gets the quickest time. Like it's both like a geocache where they have to go a certain distance on the map,
sure,
and like figure out how to get there and all those different things, those hard things, which are exercise based.
Yeah.
And then you have to like search for the clue in like a Pokemon, you know, you have to actually like look for it through the screen and figure out how to get to it where it's hidden, because it might be hidden.
Sort of like an augmented reality kind of situation. Yeah, I have a thought also, that what if the base level of tasks, the very base level, just like the day-to-day things that you can do, are completely randomized and unique for each user on a moment-by-moment basis. So there is no figuring it out and sharing your answers. Like, no, you just have to walk 5 kilometers around your neighborhood today. The other person has to, go on a hike at this park. The other person has to go down to the lake or the ocean shore and walk down there, or go on a bike ride, something like that. That's totally randomized and individualized for each person. But then you have live events where on a Sunday in your city, everybody meets at the Central Plaza, and you have a trainer doing calisthenics there, and you have to get your heart rate up to a certain point, and you can't steal that answer, right? Because it's live, it's happening, and it's also forcing people to congregate in a larger environment. But you have to earn your ability to go to that event by doing the random tasks that it's giving you in the beginning, that there's no cheat code for, because they're unique to everyone's account.
Yeah, I love that. That's the beauty of having it based on like on the digital side of things versus like the original treasure hunt side of things, which would be like a map, and everybody gets the same map, and everybody goes to the same place. I
really like the activity based part of it that you said. Yeah. It takes away some of the kind of the capitalistic part of it too, where you're only improving yourself. You're doing it for you. yes, there's a prize, there's a goal, there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's a good incentive, but it's not, oh, I found $20. Now let me go spend it at Starbucks, or I found a reason to be outside and do something cool.
Yeah, that's kind of where the original idea came from, was exercise based. Similarly, I had a second nonprofit that's called RANE, RANE,
Okay.
Race Across the Nation for Education.
Okay.
And so this is a kind of a similar one where it's exercise based and starts in your local, at your local school district.
Sure.
And it's a relay across the entire country. So it's a bike ride, and it's an event where you and whoever else is participating from your school signs up, and you get linked to someone else in the next school district.
Okay.
And every school district on the map, and the map can change every year.
Sure.
But all these school
Yeah.
districts link together, and that connection will take the relay from the East Coast all the way to the West Coast. And so the same thing goes on for this, that it's going to be more digital, where it's a social media style event, where when you sign up for this event and it auto generates who your relay partners
Your path,
are,
your route.
you actually get a group. Like, you actually have a group that you can talk to on the internet.
Yeah.
So all these kids get to actually see who all their participants are within their relay team.
Yeah.
And they get to talk shit. They get to they get to talk to each other. They get to find out who each other
You're
are.
gonna have people in Florida talking to people in Colorado, that would be really cool. And also, if there was one designated for every team at every school, there was one designated live stream person that maintained like a camera and some sort of audio feed, that you could go to a website. You're like, okay, I'm part of team 3763. And I can watch the live stream if they're biking that day, or even if they're just like in the classroom or something. I don't know. What you need time to develop relationships.
Each one will definitely be given through the program. They all get given like air tags.
Yeah.
Let's just say.
Yeah, sure.
So everybody who signs up gets an air tag with an attachment for their bicycle.
Yeah.
And on the social media platform, you're going to actually see the map highlighted, the route highlighted of where it is currently. And like you were saying, there's going to be like people videotaping as well.
Link
that
the
have
live
maybe
stream
like
to their
a couple
tag.
people are given like helmet cams or
GoPro style thing.
Yeah.
Like
So
one
you're sponsored by
organizer per
GoPro.
team. Yeah.
You're sponsored by Apple. These are all the sponsors for the
bike company.
for the event. And
Shout out Santa Barbara Custom Bicycles. Still in operation 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for the last when was that? No, like 17 years.
Damn, dude. The cool part is that you can also donate to the event, and you can pick your team.
Sure.
So if you want to be a part of the team, but you're not on the route for that year, you can still join the race, if you will, and participate while just being a fan or somebody who watches.
Yeah.
You just don't get maybe some of the same like chat privileges, or like you don't like.
Oh yeah, you can follow
I don't know.
along. Yeah, I mean, you'd have to sign up though. There would need to be
age verification too, because we don't want any like creeps.
Well, there would need to be a donation for entry, similar to the parks nonprofit that benefits the schools too. So if you get 100 kids to sign up,
Absolutely.
I'm thinking, where does that money come from? it would have to be sponsorships, right? So, yeah, like GoPro, Red Bull, Schwinn. And for every kid that signs up, we have these companies committing to $100 to the school for every kid that signs up. It'd be interesting because what if we made it where they didn't get the money unless the kids actually recorded the miles on their bikes. So they can't just sign up every kid at their school and then not participate and still get the donation money, because that would
nice.
That would
love
be
that.
skeevy.
I love that. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's pretty much like the thing about creating a 501c3 is a really good way of helping your local community while also getting a paycheck. I mean, when it really comes down to it, like, you want to fund or create something that you also want to participate in.
Yeah.
So these two ideas are like ones that I want to fund or create something that you, to this day, I would be like, created when I was young, but I would want to do this to enjoy this kind of,
Yeah. Sure.
interaction with each other and their friends, and and just like fucking get some exercise, learn and grow, your brain and your muscles at the same time.
Wouldn't it be cool? Now, forgive me for monetizing it even further, but I do like that because
Go on.
it does validate it in our capitalist and entertainment centered society that we have here. Pro teams, like maybe not professionally paid athletes, but people that can ride their bike 100 miles in a day. And it is a race, but they are doing it for a good cause, and they are getting sponsorship, and that money is going into the nonprofit. But you can make a web series out of it, and there is a big prize that incentivizes some of these pro cyclists to actually get across the United States as quickly as possible.
All right. Well, in that sense, it is going to be more so because they're adults and because they're professionals and they can ride that long and longer distances. Those are the people that we give the GoPros to.
Oh yeah, no, they would have full camera crews like Tour de France shit.
Well, yeah, but I mean, they're riding within the group.
Yeah, and when they pass through your town, that's your town's day to do the bike day.
Correct.
And actually like get out and ride your leg of your bike, and it's doing something good for your school.
They would have to go a lot slower,
No, they just whiz past you. That's cool. I mean, I don't know I used to ride my bike fast as F. I didn't want to put too much emphasis on that F-bomb, but I used to ride my bike as fast as I possibly could. And when somebody would pass me, man, was it like almost like exhilarating. Like, when you think you're going fast and somebody blows past you, that's like you're driving like a fast car, and then somebody's even faster than you are. You're like, oh man, that's cool. I think it's an interesting feeling, but I think it would be I don't think it would be a negative. They don't have to slow down. Don't slow down.
Do you let everybody bring their own bikes, or do you have like standardized bikes for this race?
No, I think the bike companies, if they want to participate and donate, they can throw their highest tech at it. That just makes it more exciting. Everything's on their dime. So, if they want to be that one of those title sponsors and donate $25 million to the cause and be a pro team, then yeah, they can throw whatever they want at it. That's just increasing the technology and making things better for everybody in the end.
Yeah. Talk about these tariffs, man. What's going on with this tariffs?
It's interesting. I've done...
tariffs almost sound like terrorism. Tariffs. Tariffs. Get them, boys.
It's a really interesting and really strange economic device that has for a long time been a part of our economy, but been really highlighted recently. Obviously, we all know kind of, I mean, I don't want to assume everyone knows, but know how they work in theory, and that's that you're charging companies more money to import goods than it would be to produce those goods here in an effort to stimulate domestic growth, and also collect money. I mean, that's really what it's boiling down to now. Like doing reading in the recent days, most articles are highlighting the fact that it's increasing our trade income, because all of these, on these ledgers where they keep track of this money, the income from tariffs offsets a lot of the cost of doing business. So it looks like we're in the green in sort of the trade sector, because of all of this income from these tariffs that are being collected. But what's not as, I mean, maybe it's just the way I was doing my searches, obviously, but what's not as highlighted is the cost to the American people. And honestly, maybe I'm not a typical consumer, but I haven't seen too big of a cost of daily goods in the last 6 months since tariffs have been really on the horizon and stuff.
So what I know about that exact point, which I was going to bring up, would be that most of these companies that did know that tariffs were going to come up in their future, they stockpiled. Mm-hmm. So you're not feeling it yet because the actual price increases haven't come to the consumer yet, because there was a massive stockpiling event that these corporations did, knowing that things
were going to get more expensive
either way.
Yeah, buy them while they're cheap. Yeah.
Yeah. So they not only did they buy them, but they imported them.
Yeah.
And they brought them through customs ahead of time.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. But actually, yeah, to get to the bigger, broader point would be nobody back to our point about being in the head of Trump. Yeah. It's like nobody actually knew or knows what this administration is going to do, because they're so wishy-washy on everything.
Yeah.
And they're just flipping and flopping like a fucking fish out of water.
Yeah, yeah. Saying one thing, it not working, and immediately doing the opposite. And yeah.
And they've postponed 90 days, like almost, I think it's 3 times already, maybe 4 at this point.
Yeah.
Which just goes to show that, do you take it seriously as a company, or do you not take it seriously as a company? Do you raise prices on consumers now and lose customers before things actually even get rolling? Or do you wait, because it might not happen? Because you're going to lose customers. Like 100% these corporations, if they raise prices, they are going to lose customers. So stalling as long as they can is the most important part to these companies staying afloat.
Yeah. Yeah. And striving to still maintain a price point, which is kind of, that is in a way the motivation of a tariff, is to try and motivate companies to create things less expensively so that they can maintain that price point and they don't lose those customers. Which I can't say I disagree with in its entirety. I think the messaging is, like you were saying, the wishy-washiness is a really bad way to get anybody on board with anything. And while these companies are smart enough and they have enough people that have done this long enough to work the system as well as they can, and they're going to, no matter what, protect themselves, to get the general population on board, it really takes it should have been handled a lot differently. It should have been more of a this is going to be good for you, not just this is going to solve all our problems. Here's the actual breakdown. Like, yes, you might pay more for a computer, but you're going to have a job building computers. Like we're going to employ you here making chips in the United States, or now the pesticides that aren't being created in China to keep our crops from having bugs with no environmental regulation, we're going to bring that to the United States, and our environmental regulation is going to benefit our people because we're not spraying these harmful pesticides on your food anymore. It's going to have to be done the right way.
This is the hardest part about the COVID policies, though. So as they increase the amount of money in the system, in order to not have inflation run away, they needed to increase the interest rates. So they increased the interest rates to make people not get loans, to have money not go out into the system. It doesn't incentivize people to take loans. Now, corporations are also people. We know that.
It's been established.
It's been established.
The science proves it.
So just think that in order to create these manufacturing plants, you would want lower interest rates.
Yeah.
To even incentivize any of these companies to want to build a plant or manufacture here in America. So what's really harming the whole process of tariffs and in general to me would be the higher interest rates preventing these corporations from onshoring any of the manufacturing, because they're not going to take out a loan to build at 7%. They want it zero. They want it at fucking as close to zero as possible to build that, to get the loan to build the plant, to employ the people here to build the iPhone or whatever.
Yeah. No, yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah.
I've been fighting for lower interest rates in my head for a long time. they loan interest rates directly affect me in what I do on a daily basis.
So the problem though is that as interest rates come down, then you're going to actually see inflation go up.
Yeah, I mean, prices of things go up when there's more money in the system. That's the university discussion we were having before, too.
So as there's a tsunami being held back with a dam of in interest rates, the tsunami is about to... They need to open the little gate on the dam and let
relieve
it
some
trickle
pressure
out as slow as possible. But they're fighting the wave of inflation taking off again, which devalues the dollar again as well. Mm-hmm. So there's like, do you crash the fucking dollar to have tariffs and onshore the all the manufacturing, or to bring jobs back here? Or do you just keep it the way that it is and just print
and the cost of goods goes
and
up?
I don't. That's why it's not clear about how it's going to actually shake out to me.
I think providing individuals different interest rate amounts to benefit them more than these giant corporations would probably be a good way. Not to tear down the system too much, but these corporations aren't individuals. They're giant corporations. They can afford a higher interest rate than, somebody that needs $100,000 to get their small business off the ground.
But if these corporations take out loans at a higher interest rate, they're going to pass that on to the consumer.
Sure, but we would be able to supplement our income with a loan at a lower rate to be able to afford more as well, and possibly chase our dreams. And
it's a debt spiral, though. Everybody's in debt, and then everybody goes deeper and deeper into debt in that scenario that you're
sure. Well, I think maybe we could apply that, the business plan model to it as well. Like, prove to me that you need this money and you can do something with it. and tell you what, and hey, I'll tell you what, if you're successful, then we'll readjust the interest rate even further in your favor. If you can prove that you're actually benefiting your community and the economy with the idea that we're spending money on, we can incentivize people to be better, to use their money for good stuff too. Our consumerist policies and our not policies, but our society, where I need a new couch, I'm just going to put it on a credit card, isn't what I'm talking about. I'm more thinking of like, sort of a small business loan interest rate or something like that. But
these interest rates for the small businesses that you're talking about, there's already policies in place at the banks to give loans out to people. They're just getting harder and harder to get that loan.
Yeah.
And most likely it's because of everybody's credit score. Because everybody took out way too much fucking debt, and their credit score has suffered so much that because they've taken out too much that they haven't been able to pay back. And so when they go in for another loan, or when they have another business plan, they're going to have this other thing on their record that says like, don't give this fucking asshole a loan.
Oh, sure. No, you have to protect it. You have to, I think, while credit score, sure. No, you have to protect it. You have to, I think bullshitters are confusing and kind of, in some regards, they are a report card on how you manage your money. Others are confusing and kind of.
Yeah. So that drops that either is because their credit score, quote unquote, is much better than the small business owner or the individual.
Sure.
Because they have shareholders and they have venture capital or whatever money flowing into them to be able to give them a backing outside of government. It could be government too, subsidies and whatnot in the industries. So their loan is almost guaranteed to be paid back. So they get lower interest rates than normal people.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And yeah.
So it's hard to flip-flop that or make it where they pay a higher interest rate when it's almost guaranteed that they are going to pay it back.
Yes. No. Yeah. Absolutely. I think there does need to be some penalty on taking anything of value, whether it's money or anything. There needs to be some cost to it. That's an interesting struggle, and I guess that's macroeconomics on a overarching term.
The best loan that you can take out is by liking and subscribing. Everybody like and subscribe. We couldn't do it without you, all of these fans out there.
We'd still do it, but it's better with people to watch.
But grassroots, obviously, like there needs to be like $1 from 1 million people to get you $1 million, versus going to these predatory loan sharks or banks or whatever to get the interest rate. Like you actually have to do like when people would go apprentice and basically work for free, until they got the skills and then they had a trade or whatever. It's the same thing with like most businesses. I would say that the most successful ones are going to be in the future. The most successful ones are going to be the ones that don't have to go to get the loan for a certain interest rate, and they actually organically grow these businesses from scratch through their friends, family, and community, and then outside broader, the word spreads, word of mouth, and the money comes in without debt.
Yeah, absolutely. From the community, but it's going to be important to instill a sense of giving back to your community also, because you can't expect people to fund you with nothing in return. It's kind of a societal problem that needs to be solved, where it's not as individualistic as it's become, because it's my credit score and it's my debt and it's my profit, and not seeing that, oh no, this profit and this income is coming from people in my community. I need to be able to support them too. I feel like takes a back seat. You even like talking about it, you become sort of like, oh, he wants to give out charity and stuff like that. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying provide services and provide business to the people that are giving you their money in a way that helps them and boosts their lives and makes their lives better, on a smaller scale. These, sort of the giant corporation aspect of, all that money going to a few people is kind of toxic inherently. And I think everybody, not just giant corporations, but they should take on a little bit more of a community first. I know America first is like a big thing right now, but what about like, community first? Like, let's make sure our neighbors are doing well. And then there's going to be a company that starts up in your community where they have jobs, and then those employees are taken well care of by their employer. And then that employer is taken well care of by their lenders or whoever they rely on to do good business. Instead of just take all the time. Like, no, I need you to work more hours for less pay because we're farming people from wherever, another country. I need you to work harder for less, and we need to see the profits and not you as the individual.
Well, the only way to get there that I can see is by having things go deflationary. So, your dollar grows in value, so you don't have to use as many of them to pay for the things that you want. Because right now, the way that things are going is inflationary. And so you have to run faster and faster on the treadmill. And if you don't, you get thrown off.
Yeah.
So things are getting very individualistic because of the fact that you're going on this treadmill as fast as you can, and things are getting fat. The dial is getting turned up faster and faster every single day. Mm-hmm. And so if things were actually made to be let go down in price, like they should be, then you could have this more, or you could have this more community-based, basically everybody needs to either boycott or, shrink your consumption.
Yeah.
And once you shrink your consumption, the prices will have to go down in order to give people the need to go out and spend their money. And when they do that, when things get cheaper, when your dollar goes further, then you can make smaller businesses work. Yeah. Because right now, the only way things are working is if you grow like as fast as possible.
That's an interesting point, and it reminds me of something that I witnessed where I moved here to Michigan. I had some family that worked for Kellogg's, and one really cool thing that they did was they had a Kellogg's company store. But it's not that they're trying to get you to spend the money that they just gave you. Everything's heavily, heavily discounted for people in that town, in that community. And I think if you're working at a company and you're giving them your time, which is really the ultimate resource for every human, there needs to be an incentive to grow that business. It's kind of like a profit sharing. It's a very simple way of profit sharing, right? And I just think that profit sharing is a really great way to incentivize people to work for your company, to grow it, to be invested in seeing it get better, but also get benefits from it growing. And doing really well. Even the janitor that's only worked there for a year, he's getting the benefits from it. It's not this, the CEO and the COO and people that are reaping the benefits of their profits. Obviously, a company store is a very rudimentary way to do that. Really, it would be better if there were stock options and things like that, which they have too. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a huge company. I'm sure they have all that stuff. But I feel like that's those are the kinds of things that are going away too, is sort of that workforce ownership of these giant corporations.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't in a giant corporation. I was in construction for a while, and we had ESOP, which was a employee ownership stock program.
Yeah.
Basically, your time equaled shares in the company,
Mm-hmm.
and on the back end, the fund, part of the profit from this construction company went into a fund that invested
Mm-hmm.
that money. So their goal was to grow that money over time, so the share price goes up in value.
Yeah.
And you didn't have the problem with all these things like that is that they're made for you to retire.
Yes.
Like, they're made for you to wait until you're 65.
Yeah.
And then you get to pull
That's
out
every
all your
401k.
money.
Yeah.
And you have your 401k, and then you have your ESOP, and then you combine those two and you have a great retirement. The problem is that they pay you dog shit along the way.
Yeah.
and
With this
until you're
promise
with the promise. And hopefully the business doesn't go under.
Yeah. Yeah. Or hopefully the stock market doesn't crash and your $1 million
Exactly.
that you had in your 401k is now worth $300,000 and you can't retire on that much. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's where, like, if there was some way of the money purchasing power growing versus, on a day-to-day base, on a yearly basis, it'd be better it would be better than 401k. It would be better than stock options. It would be better than all this stuff, because the money that you actually
It'd be a weekly
save,
payout from them.
Huh?
It would be like a weekly or monthly bonus structure kind of payout where, every week I got an extra $100 or more.
Because the value of your money is going up.
Yeah, because you're making the company money by doing your job, and they're handing that out in real time, and your purchasing power is increasing because you just have a little bit more of the money. And also it would serve on the back end to reduce inflation, just due to the fact that these giant 401ks and things like that are another form of that university money laundering cycle, where the money's arbitrary to them. It's just a number that they can make up on a whim.
Yeah. And these people saving the money, if the quantity of money goes down, let's just say, the number of paper dollars that you need to buy goods goes down, then and the value of it goes up. That means that you're going to save that money in a bank somewhere. Mm-hmm. Well, that bank is the company store, if you will.
Sure.
And they are investing that money into local community or local businesses, small businesses, in the form of loans, which regulates the issuance of new currency.
Yeah.
So new currency is only going to be created on a bank level, versus the federal government level or the broader, bigger money printer.
And a more local
It's going to
banking
be
system. You were saying, like it would still be privatized because we don't want to give them the control to the government, but
Exactly.
But a smaller scale, community based, which I'm part of a credit union. Like I like the small bank idea. Also, big banks have fucked me over in the past, but and they fucked everyone over in the past. So I think that's a pretty big group.
Yeah.
But yeah, keeping that money as local as possible is going to benefit your day-to-day life a lot more than giving it to a giant national corporation or the government itself. We're at 2 hours, buddy.
Yeah, dude. Time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah, this is some good conversation. I didn't get into the second talking point. I won't even. I mean, I can mention it. We can keep going for a little bit, but I do want to take a quick break.
Yeah,
if we
take
want
a quick break.
Cut away for a minute. But yeah, you want a little intermission and then come back, or you want to call it?
We can call it here.
All right.
Let's come back because the other topic is really timeless.
It is. Yeah, it's not going anywhere. It's only getting better and better every single day that we wait. I'm learning more.
And it's going to bring the fans back. So stay tuned till next week when we're going to unleash this new topic on you guys.
Yeah, hell yeah. Man, it's one that...
And we'll have way more discussion points ahead of us.
Yeah, it's one that I've thought about for years, but, you know, it's...
We lived it.
We did.
We lived it.
How could I mean, I'll never... Yeah, I don't want to give...
Never forget.